you go, Mary. Look at that.
All right.
We're winning. We're good. We did it.
Hello, everybody. Once again, we're having a conversation from the NutriGround. And this time, our NutriGround is in the Exchange Pickleball and Bar venue located, would you say this is
the Lower Garden District?
Lower Garden District. Thank you, Renee. I'm with Renee Melchiotti. She is the owner of this great new addition to the city's list of fun sporting attractions, and we're going to talk about it today. First of all, why is it called pickleball? Because it doesn't involve pickles. I don't see a pickle anywhere.
Well, there are two stories about that. One is that the people that invented it, who lived in outside of Washington State, were putting together all different kinds of toys they found in the backyard. It was a bunch of dads, and they had a dog named Pickles who grabbed the ball and went off with the ball, and they called it pickleball. There's another story that the mother of these children was big into crew or rowing.
Yeah.
And one of the boats with all the people that don't get to play in the main aren't the first string.
Yeah.
They put all the second strings from all the different teams together in a boat called a pickle boat. And so this is a combination of ping pong and tennis and volleyball and badminton. And so it's just an amalgamation of just different sports.
I love both those stories, but I think I'm going to lean toward the dog and the ball.
I like it.
I love animals, you know. So let's go with that one for my imagination. So Renee, we are really in a great new spot. It's amazing what you've done with this warehouse. What was it before?
So it was a warehouse that one side of it was empty. This was the second side that held metals. It was on the London Metal Exchange, and stored warehouse metals for all over the world. And apparently there's only certain cities in the country that were allowed to store the metals. And it was just like the old cotton exchange, but it's the metal exchange. And depending on how much volume of metals there were, depends on the value of the metal.
Wow.
So when we bought it, it was just a storage warehouse and on one side and an empty warehouse on the other. But we took the old name from the exchange and we used it as our name, the Exchange, because pickleball is a combination of his exchanging of personalities and people and different sports, and it's just a play on the word.
Exchanging the ball?
Yes.
Hopefully. Not to the other person, not into the net.
And it's very New Orleans, since we, back in the 1800s, we had the cotton exchange, was where everyone met. They banked, they socialized, they sold goods, they had coffee, and we like to think of this place as just more than just pickleball.
I really liked what you and I were talking about before we started formally talking. Benefits.
So there's a lot of health benefits. Obviously, people are getting off their couches and they're exercising, and some people who have never been part of league sports or organized sports or didn't play a sport as a child, they're less apt to play tennis or golf. But this is the kind of sport that gets everybody off the couch, and obviously obesity is a big issue. But they've also
loneliness, right?
Yes, they've also said, the Wall Street Journal just a few weeks ago did a study that loneliness is as much of an epidemic as addiction and obesity, and that this is really changing the way people socialize and opening up another avenue.
That's really wonderful.
So what happens is, and if I had 4 paddles here, we do these things called open play. And so everyone puts their paddle in, and you come all by yourself, and you don't even need a friend. And once the 4th paddle comes, the next 4 people are next up. And then after that, the next 4 are up, and the next 4. And so we try to schedule this with at least 12, but up to 24 people. And so 12 play, 12 sit. And then you alternate who's next up. And you don't have to play with the next person. If you like the people you play with, you can keep playing with them. But we encourage people to split, separate, and start another.
That's amazing.
I've actually heard somebody else thought of this, not me, but it's like speed dating with a paddle in your hand.
So this has been great to get a tour of the place, and
thank you so much.
I'll come back and try my hand at the game for the first time. We'll see.
Thank you so much for coming. We're really glad that New Orleans & Company has been so helpful to us, especially when they had their Pickle Fest. We benefited from the overflow from that event, which was
great.
Fabulous. Thank you so much.
Well, we'll see you next time from Conversations from the NutriGround.